Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, we are entering the world of emotional intelligence, and we're going to be answering a very popular question. Can men and women be friends? This question has been blowing up on TikTok as of late, and I've been seeing different people offering their 2 cents into the question. Can men and women be friends? Here's a very simple philosophy that I have. I believe general questions get general responses. And general responses are things that don't have much practical utility in our lives. Can men and women be friends? I would say the answer is yes. But do people really want to know the answer to that question? I don't think so. Let's make the question more specific. What the question is really trying to ask is it appropriate for a person to be friends with the opposite sex when they're in a relationship? And we can get even more specific. Is it appropriate for this person in a relationship to continuously hang out with someone from the opposite sex as friends, one-on-one, no supervision? That's what people are really trying to ask. So yeah, can men and women be friends? I'm sure they can. But should they be friends in a way where they are chilling with the opposite sex multiple times when they're in a relationship solo? Should they be alone together? And this is where I believe the entire concept of individualistic thinking versus relational thinking must come in handy. I want to come back to all of this, okay? But first, I want you to understand the difference between individual thinking and relational thinking. Imagine I go to you and I ask you, hey, do you think people can change? You think about it and you're like, well, yeah, I'm a different person now than I was 6 years ago. So yes, people can change. So then I press you further. I say, you see this guy, Pablo? Pablo went to prison for robbing a bank 17 years ago. But 17 years ago, he realized he made a mistake soon as he was sentenced to prison. A couple of years in, he decided to turn his life over to God. And nowadays, 17 years removed from his crime, he claims to be a completely different person. Do you believe him? And you think about this and you're like, well, I just said people can change. And Pablo, he's saying that he changed. 17 years is a long time. Yeah, Pablo has changed, you say. So in an individual sense, you believe that Pablo has changed. Good for you. Now, let's activate relational thinking. You, my friend, you're a wealthy man. And I tell you that Pablo is great at managing money. Heck, that's one of the reasons, ironically, that he robbed a bank. He felt as though he could do better with that money versus the bank. He's great with money. He's a changed man now, and he needs a job. He wants to be your money manager. What are you going to do now? This is when we're involved. We're in this relational transaction with Pablo at this moment. And even though we just said that, yes, we think he's changed and all of that, there's this visceral gut reaction that says, I don't want him managing my money, right? I do not want him managing my money. Now, if someone comes out of nowhere and just says, well, you're being immature, that is not the correct way to frame it, because you have all the right to feel a certain type of way for a former felon who specifically was sentenced to prison due to money-related issues, not handling your money. You don't want that, right? So other people shouldn't call you certain names just because you don't want that. Now what? Now you say stuff like, okay, well, all right, I guess Pablo could manage my money, but I want supervision. I want to make sure there are extra protocols in place because I get it. I really do think that he is a changed man, but I just don't want to take that risk, especially because I'm a very wealthy man. All right, please at least have some supervision to make sure that in case Pablo does revert back to his old ways, that my money is safe. Do you understand what I'm saying? So on an individual sense, we believe that people can change, but when our money is involved, we activate a different line of thinking. Now come back to the initial question that was asked. Can men and women be friends? The answer is yeah, I guess they could be friends. But what if it's my woman? Or what if you're a girl watching this and it's your boyfriend, right? Now it's like we're being put in a position where Pablo is going to be dealing with our money. Some guys are going to be cool with it from the very beginning. They'll say, I don't care. But other folks, they're going to feel a certain type of way. It's going to be this visceral gut reaction that says, oh man, okay, if they do have to be friends, I would like some supervision there. If it's a group event, then that's fine. And I'm talking about the most part. I'm not saying that they can never be in the same room together. Let's say you're on your way to something and the guy is in the room, the girl is in the room. You're not going to be like, hey, go to a different room. I'm excluding moments like that. I'm talking about multiple times just chilling with each other solo. I could see guys and girls not being okay with that, or they don't want their partner chilling with the opposite sex unsupervised for a prolonged period of interactions, because you never know. Just like Pablo can revert back to his old ways, a lot of us, we fail to understand that we have a thing called biology. You never know, where you think everything is going well, but these little touches are happening. These little touches are beginning to add up, and it's turning into something really bad. See, here's the part of the episode that some people will understand. A lot of people, it's just gonna fly over their heads. If you're a guy with a lot of experience, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. And if you're a very attractive girl, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Guys with experience, they're capable of spotting these things called the orbiters. The orbiters are the guys that will play what I call the prolonged game. They will pretend like they're friends with this particular girl for a prolonged period of time, because this orbiter does not have the courage to say in a blanket sort of way, I am attracted to you. So a lot of them put up this charade and they're like, yeah, I just want to be your friend. And they're just waiting for that moment where they could slide on in, right? Guys with experience can spot individuals like this very quickly, okay? And girls, very attractive girls, have a story like this, where there was this guy, this nice guy, that everything was going well. This guy would always drop her off, always pick up the calls late whenever she was having trouble with a guy, always was the shoulder to cry on. And one day, this very, very nice guy went in for a move. This attractive girl was like, wait, what? I thought we were just friends. And this nice guy went from happy. What do you mean? I thought we were more than that. I thought we could have been more than that. And they turn on a switch. Never fully trust a nice guy. They are putting up an act. So this is the part of the episode only a few people can understand. That's why, I've been seeing a lot of these videos where they're like, if you are not okay with your partner hanging out with the opposite sex, then you are immature. But these folks don't understand any concept in regards to boundaries. If you keep letting them have an inch, they will have a mile. Eventually, they're going to say stuff like, if you don't let your partner sleep with other people, then you are immature. They're always going to throw the immature label on you, but they don't understand the difference between individual thinking versus relational thinking. And that is why they give very sloppy responses. I believe that it is okay for men and women to be friends, but if someone wants supervision, they want it to be in a group setting rather than a solo setting, we shouldn't call them immature. We should understand why they're saying that. And even if they are incapable of expressing themselves, sort of like you were possibly incapable of expressing yourself on why you didn't want Pablo managing your money, we should not give them the guilty till innocent treatment. We should hear them out and see what sort of boundaries they want for their relationship. So those are my personal 2 cents. If you liked today's talk, go on and drop that like for me right on below and share this video on your social media of choice.